Hey, good morning. Thanks for tuning into this channel. This morning we're going to talk about 5.56 through bore and 30 cal through bore on the same host. This is one of our post samples that we're running a Dual Lok on, 13 9-inch barrel. Colt post sample gun. Yeah.
Got a few awesome cans behind us here. We're rocking the Dual Lok 5 and Dual Lok 7 from Griffin Armament, as well as the PSR series, both in their 5 and 7. And then today we're hearing the Rugged Alaskan for the first time, so pretty excited to hear that.
And we are able to do that because the Alaskan is a hub back and Griffin supports a Dual Lok into a hub body. So we're going to be using this a lot more on this particular host weapon because it gives us a ton of versatility.
Let's check it out.
That's odd.
Gun's super smooth.
That's odd.
Okay, it's because it needs a suppressor.
Switching out to Dual Lok 7. Sam, I want you to hear. Let's get some from you on both sides. I kind of want to hear this. Singles 2, 3, 4. It'll be interesting if this thing's under gas now because we've got too much through bore.
Where were you standing?
Behind the bar.
Ooh. It's gritty.
Yeah.
It's not super gassy to the face.
That was weird.
Want to shoot again? Yeah.
Yeah. A couple from. Let it eat.
Ew. It's the wiggling fingers for me. Are you ready for your exam? Why are you dad breathing so hard?
PSR 7. 30 cal through bore, obviously. All right, Parker, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
How's the gas sound? A little under, isn't it?
Pretty good tone.
Here, let me hear it from. Oh, dude. You should hear from the side here. No, it's fantastic over here.
Really?
Yeah.
Here.
No, go ahead. Well, you want to hear it?
Yeah, I want to hear it from the side.
Yeah.
Dang. It's good tone. Wasn't much smoke. Rugged Alaskan. This is not their titanium option, so a little bit more robust, more AR friendly, I would guess. It's still super light, so I'm really curious to see how it sounds with the 36 cal through bore. So let's eat. I can see some of the flashes from that titanium end cap, or just maybe the can being broken in general.
Oh, it could be.
It's a little sparky.
A little gassy. Ooh.
Great at 5.56, but it's kind of that.
That's definitely usable. That's definitely usable though.
It's like a crisp. You can use it for a lot of stuff.
I think the one thing that I wanted to emphasize with this, and I hope you guys get this on the takeaway, is the use of an overbore suppressor on an undercalibered situation. So we started out with 5.56, and then we rolled into 30 cal. So that's going to allow some more pressure to go out the front of the can and less pressure in the can. And I think that will become apparent if you watch the gassing. When we're going from Dual Lok 5 to Dual Lok 7, there was a perceptible drop off in internal pressure. So the tone I think sounded great. I can't speak for Sam, but I think the 5.56 for me sounded better behind the gun, but it was a little louder on the sides. The 30 cal seemed to be quieter for the shooter for me, but I'm also 40% deaf above 6,000 K, so that's hard for me to get some of those higher tones.
I think my main takeaway was, going into it with a bit of a preconceived notion of dedicated 5.56 suppressors was my first soiree into cans, and I've noticed that kind of across the board the tone sounds pretty on par with what I'm used to. I like the performance of a dedicated can, however, definitely a little bit more gas back to the face. So there's some benefit and kind of trade-off with getting into that 30 cal or overboard suppressor. The trade-off is maybe not as quiet, but a little bit smoother as far as gas perception to the face, at least what I've noticed. Kind of reigning true on the 36 cal center bore. It's kind of back to that crescent wrench mentality that we've mentioned before. It's good at a lot of things, but not anything particularly well. Like, it's not a specialized tool like a dedicated 5.56 or 30 cal. I enjoyed the most the PSR 5. The tone on that thing was amazing.
I would agree. I think it's gassed correctly. The thing that I noticed on the 36, the Alaskan, especially on the sides, it was a lot tonier at that lower frequency. So from the sides, and again, I hope that comes across on the audio, it was a little, it was definitely snappier from my point of view.
All pretty similar. We're testing on a firearm that is not exactly tuned, front to back for suppressing. There's no gas mitigation on the bolt carrier group.
Nope.
Or gas block, but there is the Griffin snatch, which has a port to kind of help vent gas before it gets to the user. So that does help a little bit, but I think this is probably one of the best case situations to test a suppressor to see what its true back pressure is on the user, because there is not a lot of mitigation in mind. It's solely how does that suppressor translate through back the rest of the gun, which has been pretty enjoyable.
This is arguably probably my favorite gun right now. And as far as smoothness goes, I actually was not aware that it did not function unsuppressed until about an hour ago. So, because we've only shot this thing suppressed, but it is undergassed with no can. So I thought that was, we've taken this thing out 2 or 3 times and just really enjoyed it, and then with no can it doesn't work. Which
the moral is that you should never shoot unsuppressed.
Well, that's a good point. That's a good point. So this particular build came about because of an accident. I had this quad rail. And this is a build out that I wanted to do. I had intended to run an over the barrel PSR 5 mount on this, but my gunsmith ended up cutting it too short, so I had to make a decision. We ended up bringing it back to run this Dual Lok bayonet for no reason. It just looked cool. It started out as a 16-inch FN chrome lined hammer forged barrel, and it is gassed and ported for a 16-inch unsuppressed. So I think that's some of the reason that it's not functioning, cut back to 13 and some change. So with the can, obviously the thing runs great. No can, it doesn't have enough gas getting into the system. So I will mention this is a very cheap bolt carrier that I have, and we have just been running it. I'm actually surprised this bolt has not failed. We've been running this bolt in 2 other guns, and
The last 2 years.
You don't need an expensive bolt if it's a good quality component. It's a Carpenter 158 bolt head on just a regular enhanced bolt body. We sell these for about $130, $140, and this thing just works. It's a good, affordable bolt, and it works.
I think at its core, every single one of these suppressors is way better than shooting unsuppressed, and it kind of comes down to what your main use case is going to be. If you're going to run several other calibers, a 30 caliber suppressor in today's test performed great, right alongside the dedicated suppressors. It just comes down to what you're going to use it for. But picking reputable brands, I don't think you can choose wrong.
I'll comment on that. I think a good quality brand with a good warranty. Hopefully you'll never have to use it, but again, a good reputable tier 1 manufacturer. You're going to have the support that you need, customer service that you need if you end up having an issue. Again, the crest range mentality. This 36 cal can is going to do a ton of applications that the 30 cal and the 5.56 physically just can't. It won't fit through the through bore. So again, the trade-off, if it's your first can, this is going to give you a ton of coverage. Your 5.56s, your 308s, up to 338 Lapua. This can be squeezed onto a 9mm, some 357 stuff. It's a pretty versatile product. The one thing I do want to mention, today would be the second best day to buy a suppressor, because yesterday would have been the best day, because you'd have been one day closer to getting it.
Why wait on waiting?
Why wait on waiting? So this is something I will mention. These are all these are tubeless design products. And we've been here maybe 15 minutes, and we're down to room temperature handleable product again too. So that is something we'll cover with another video on the double wall product versus these single wall tubes. So I like this feature. If they're cold, we can move on. Thanks again for taking the time to watch the video. Like the channel, subscribe, share it with your friends. If you got some questions or comments about this product in particular, maybe comment on the tones or what comes across to you, how it sounded, and maybe some other stuff you guys would like to see.
Yeah, and like he was saying, don't be afraid to reach out in the store, on our social medias. Call us up, come in. We're happy to help you.